Wanted to show you wooden body spoke shaves that were made several hundred years ago to get an idea on how they were made. And typically the soles were wood, and over time and with wear the wood would wear down, so you'd have a groove like you can see in here. And the blades were fitted into the body by drilling a drilling a hole and then heating up the tangs so they would have a snug fit in the wood body. The blades were typically made by a blacksmith, and you can see here how the tangs are rectangular. So by heating this up, you'd be able to drive them in and they'd stay in position. Over time though, with the wood movement and the use, these blades would loosen up, so it was hard to keep a good set on the blades. So over the years there's been some improvements on that. This is another shave with the wooden body and the square tangs. Nice looking shave, and this one has very little use. You can see there that the sole is not worn at all. So in order to improve on controlling the depth of the blade, we had to come up with an idea to secure that blade, and there's a company named Mopples that came up and patented another design. And what they did is they used machine screws that went into the blade, and in order to secure that blade they would cock the blade and have an opposing force, one side high and one side low. Well, that works okay, but it still loosens up. And here's another example of that same idea, where the blade typically would be skewed, and that skewing of the blade would help to secure the blade in the body. And then a fellow here, this is an unknown maker, but he had a different idea, and that was to secure the blade, hold the blade into place with a set screw, which you can see here. And this is an old shave that came out of a gunsmith shop. And so this is where I got the idea of using set screws. A more modern shave from the 1980s, made by Ernie Conover, used that same idea in his models. And what he did is I'm going to show you a blade. He used threaded studs that went into his blade, and then used a set screw that was machined into a brass insert, and so you could set the height on that and secure it in there, which is a good idea. Now, the only problem with this is you had to take these nuts off in order to make any adjustments. So what we're going to do today is use threaded inserts, but we're going to be able to adjust them on our shave with a hex key from the top. So you don't have to remove the blade, you don't have to remove any nuts. It makes it easier to adjust.